Howdy everybody. Today I want to talk about a new gun I just picked up. I'm just going to try to make this real quick. A new gun I just picked up and I'm really liking so far, the FNX 45. Now we're going to make sure it's empty, magazine's empty, nothing in the chamber. Alright. Everybody that knows me knows that I'm a steel gun kind of guy. If I walk into the gun store, most of the time I won't even look at the polymer frame pistol. I'll walk straight to the single actions, 1911s, rifles, whatever. And about a year ago, I was in the gun store wasting some time, and the guy that owns the store is a buddy of mine. He said, "Hey, I want you to check out this new gun I just got." And he holds it up, and it's this. I was like, "Nah, no thanks, not my thing." And he's like, "No, seriously, come here. I think you'll really like this one." So I walked over, and I looked at it, I picked it up, and I put it in my hand, and it just, you ever just pick a gun up and it just feels right? This was that gun. I picked it up and it just felt right. I looked at the price tag and I handed it right back to him. I was like, no way. So every time I've gone in there since then, he's almost always got one in there, and I've drooled over him for the last year. Well, he finally got one in at a price that I was more acceptable with. So I went ahead and picked it up, and I took it out yesterday, and I fired about 200 rounds out of it, and I'm really liking it. And I can't shoot it quite as well as I can my 1911, but I think that has to do with the trigger. This gun's got the double action, single action style trigger, so it's got a really, we'll pull up my thumb so you can kind of see the travel a little better. It's got a really long double action pull. It's not rough, it's smooth, but it's long. And the single action pull is also, has a lot of take up. That's all take up right there. I mean, the actual pull is still a little longer than what I like to see. Where, when you look at like my 1911, which is also empty, it's just, well, if the safety's off, yeah, push the gun safety, here we go. Nothing, that's it. It's just almost no trigger travel whatsoever. And that's the only thing I'm not liking about this gun so far. Other than that, it's fully ambidextrous, which I really like since I shoot left-handed. I'm right-handed, but I shoot left-handed. And the sights are really good on it. And I fired 5 or 6 different kinds of ammo out of it yesterday, and no problems whatsoever. It fed, it ejected, and as a hand loader, I like the fact that it piled all the cases in a nice little pile about like that. At 20 yards, I'll put some still shots of the gun on the targets after the video. At 20 yards, I was able to keep my rounds in a 4 or 5 inch group, which isn't great, but it's acceptable. I'm not a great shot with a handgun anyway, so I was okay with that. The 1911, I was able to do 3 or 4 inches, an inch or two smaller. And I think, again, I take that back to the trigger. I'm just not used to that long trigger travel on this because I'm used to single action style guns like the 1911. So I'm not going to go into all the specifics about the gun. Anybody that's actually looked at one of these knows everything about it, ambidextrous, everything. The takedown on this gun is very easy. Lock it open. You push this little lever down, release the slide, and that's it. Then you can take your spring and follower out. These frame rails are replaceable. If you wear them out, which I don't think will ever happen, but if you do, you can replace them. And then put it back together. There you go. Put the little lever back in the up position, and that's it. It does have a rail on the front, and that's probably something I'll never use, but for those of you that like the tactical kind of stuff, it's on there. They do make this with the threaded barrel, and they make it with the deal for a red dot and all that kind of stuff. And I don't really care about any of that. I just got the plain Jane version. One thing I did like It did come with 3 magazines. And if you compare these magazines, to show kind of how give you an idea how big the gun is. There's the magazine next to a 1911 magazine. And that's what I think I like about this gun. It is a beast. This is not something you're going to hand to your girlfriend and tell her to go conceal carry it. My wife did shoot this gun yesterday. She's about 5'4", and she had a hard time getting her hands wrapped around the grip. And when she did shoot it, this grip has a very abrasive checkering pattern. It left a real nice mark on her hand from that checkering pattern. She didn't really like shooting it that much. For me, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'10". I've got big hands. This gun feels great. But enough about the gun. Let's go down to the range and do a little shooting. So, I was just working on editing the video I made on this gun, and when I was out filming the other day, it was very windy out, and I was filming by myself. My wife wasn't there to run the camera for me, and when I got back, I realized you cannot hear a damn thing I say on the video. So, I want to run over a couple things I forgot in the upfront video the other day. These magazines are 15 rounds. That's a lot of 45 ammo. My 1911 holds 7. And I'm a big fan of the 1911. As a matter of fact, this is the first 45 I've ever owned that is not a 1911. It's also the first polymer framed handgun I've ever owned. So this is a whole new experience for me. I'm so far I'm really liking it. It's definitely nice and light. This gun with 15 rounds loaded in it is still about an ounce lighter than my 1911 is unloaded. So when you look at it that way, for me it's gonna be a good carry gun. I live in Montana. We're allowed to open carry here. I will carry this gun. It's a big gun, but like I said, I'm a big guy. I can handle carrying a gun. So I could probably even conceal this gun. My wife, not so much. But I wanted to run by the magazine. In the video, there's 2 clips of me shooting it. The first one is just standard 230 grain round nose ball. They're actually lead ball bullets, cast bullets, but nothing fancy. The second one was some of these 200 grain hollow points. My 1911 doesn't like feeding these very much. I'll have every couple of magazines, I believe it's my magazines, I got cheap magazines for, but every couple of magazines I'll have one jam. This gun ate them up, no problem. I fired 10 of them, and after the video I went out and I fired about 200 of those just to try to get this gun broke in. And yeah, no problem. I am up to 500 rounds out of this gun now and have not had a single failure to feed, fire, or eject. So, I'm really liking it. I would definitely recommend going out and getting one if you're a 45 fan. I would recommend this gun if you're looking for a polymer frame gun. I have shot Glock. I like this way better than a Glock. I'm not a Glock fan whatsoever. I don't like it better than my 1911. I still like my 1911s better. But I think this is really starting to grow on me. I think I'm really going to learn how to like it. So, anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. There will be an article. I'm going to write an article about this, and it'll be on our Hubpages. I will put a link to that in the description when it's done. And there are lots of photos and talk about it on our Facebook page, Dan's Gun Stuff on Facebook. So that being said, stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time.